Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I hope everyone's all well on this Monday afternoon. I thought I'd do this video, have your say video. Anyone who wants to come on, have their say. You know, I'm here for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on who wants to come on and have their say about West Ham United. Before I get started though, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, hit notification bell and all that game. Oh dear, mate. This West Ham community is something else. It really is. And I've been getting pelters because of my speech the other day about Moyes out and Moyes in thing. Listen, I'm not here to divide the fan base. One thing I've done, which I've stood by from minute one, is said about getting Sullivan out the door. And there are some good people on it now. Hammers United are on it. The West Ham fans advisory board are on it. Good people, honest people, people that genuinely care about the club, and I feel like my job is well and truly done in regards of getting these fuckers out of the club. But I do stand on what I said the other day, that this all started from letting him go, and I ain't going to change on that. And yeah, now we're in a bit of a shit situation where we look like we're going down at a rate of knots. Obviously, Friday night was bad. Was bad, let's be honest. And I watched it Friday night. I broke down in tears. People think my tears are disingenuous. I think that's the word. Yeah. No, my tears are real. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen my club go down many times. I don't want to see my club go down again. Some people are quite happy to see West Ham go down. I am not. I am not. And it will break my heart if I see West Ham go down into the Championship. And not only that, if West Ham do go down, there's no guarantees that we're going to come back up. And with a sinking ship, you can go down again to League One. And that's it, really. It really is. But this board and the protest, you've got a sitting protest on Sunday against Newcastle. You've also got another protest against Burnley, which I won't be going to because I'm just not. I went to the first one. That's me done. Now I'm not going to go to the other one, and I'm going to stand by that for reasons that I want to keep to myself. But Hammers United are doing a good job, and the fans advisory boards, like a gentleman come on the space the other week, spoke very, very well, extremely well. And I thought, yeah, I'm like, we're in good hands now. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there are good people that are ready to sort of go after Sullivan in the right way. Me sitting on here, effing and blinding, crying ain't gonna do no good. Yeah, I mean, but there is people out there, strong, intelligent people who are very strong and intelligent people who know what they're doing. And listen, they've got my utmost respect, and I rate them very, very highly, extremely highly in what I'm saying. So I'm going to go through your comments. If you want to come on, the link is in the chat. By all means, come on. And yeah, listen, on Friday, am I surprised that West Ham lost? To a point, yeah. I really thought West Ham were going to turn up on Friday. But it feels like that this is the year that we've took the piss one too many times, and it's going to come back and bite us in the arse. Do you know what I'm saying? And these teams now, like Burnley yesterday winning, really was like a sucker punch to the situation. They are, I think it's 7 points clear of us, and we're 4 points clear. We're 4 points adrift from Fulham. So we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And one thing I will say with West Ham that has always happened at West Ham is West Ham always fight to the end. Right. And I can guarantee that something will happen where West Ham will fight all the way to the end of the season and hopefully give it everything they can to stay in the league. I don't want to be a defeatist, as I always say. I stand on this, but I feel like this season might be the season that we do drop. And if we do drop down, that's going to break a lot of hearts. It's going to break my heart to see West Ham go down into the Championship, because when you've been great at a level, and we was good. Listen, we was good, whether you like the manager or not. We was good. We had good moments. And listen, seeing us win that trophy, whether or not people think it's a piece of shit or not, is irrelevant. Right? To me, that over there, right, means everything to me. Absolute everything to me. And if I die tomorrow, which could happen, but like from people who want to keep wanting to threaten to stab me every 5 seconds, you know, I'm never going to forget that moment, ever. and I stand on that. Whether it was with Moyes or with another manager, the issue is now that Sullivan's time, it will be coming to an end shortly. There's a lot of people that are speaking very, very highly, very, very intelligently from different media worlds. So, you know, it is what it is. Bish, bash, bosh. Let's get to your comments. Dan says, the time was right for Moyes to go. The ball fucked up with his replacement. Right. I'm going to sort of address this. My issue is you can want Moyes to go, but what made you trust David Sullivan to do the right thing? That's the only question that I need to ask. Is who put their trust in David Sullivan to go out and do the right thing by this club? And what it is, people will use the Tim Steidten thing as a fallback. Tim Steidten was just a fall guy for Sullivan. Always has been, always was going to be. So listen, I understand it. And maybe the other day I lost me rag because my team's fucking falling apart at the seams. But I do look at it and think this all started from then to the present day. And trusting Sullivan is the worst kind of trust you can ever put into a manager. I won't trust that geezer as far as I can throw him. And I never have done. And I am going to say this, right? I've just said it on the WhatsApp group. And I'm going to say it to you. Because one thing with E20 Zone TV is I'm going to say it how it should be said and not like be politically correct. I was told 4 years ago when I first started, do not mention the ball, James. That is what I was told by people who are YouTubers. They told me straight, don't mention the ball at all, right? Because if you do, people will come after you. People will really have it in for you. You won't get no subscribers, and you'll be it'd be a waste of time, right? And the one thing with me is I'm a bit of a rebel like that. I don't listen to what people tell me to do. I listen to my art. And this is the thing with me on this channel. Maybe I speak too much from the art and I should compose myself. Maybe on an afterthought, I should sit back and have half hour. But I don't, because I like to let it all go for the sake of my sort of mental state. Nevertheless, I'm going to say this, that I was told that, don't mention the board. I've always stuck to my guns with this board ever since minute one. I've always said that they are the problem. Managers, players, staff, everything can come and go, but they are the problem of the club. The issue is that I'm just glad people have seen it now, and there's people on board on it who are pushing it, who are stronger and more of an influence than I would ever be. So fair play to them people, right? The day he goes will be a great day, but how much damage does have to be done before he does go? That's the $1 million question for me. And I think the damage is only going to get worse before he realises that he's got nowhere to run, Sullivan. And he will go in the end, and he will buckle in the end. The issue is, I think it's going to take a while before we actually do genuinely get him out. Right, let's get to his comment. James, thoughts this the other day, what we're going to do about the loan we took at the start of the season if we get relegated. Jared Bowen, mate. Sell him, that pays the loan. James, you said it would get bad with a Moyes replacement, but did you think it would be this bad? I did, mate. When people were going back in the past, and I've got a book of receipts, so anyone who wants to test me, I've got many books of receipts, and I know many people who also have books of receipts. When people started saying about getting Moyes out and there was names coming out of the woodwork, I laughed. I laughed because it was like a dream. It was like playing football manager and believing that you was going to go out and get these top end managers who were never going to come to us, not under Sullivan's control, right? When you get Lopetegui in, did I think it would go as bad as it did? I was shocked to see how bad it did go, how fast it went. But I think really, even last year, right, even last season at Brighton away when we lost 3-2, was 2-1 up, we lose 3-2. And I sat there on the afterthought and I was like, I'm really worried now that I think we're going down next season. Because obviously last season's papered over the cracks big time. Because there was 3 teams in the league that really shown up the league. Like them teams that come up last season, like your Southamptons, your Leicesters, your Ipswiches, they really showed the league up. And if we would have if they would have been decent, we might have been in trouble last season. I just felt like as the seasons were going on, we was getting away with murder. I remember this summer window just gone, clear as day. I said on the summer window on the deadline day, watch along that I did. I turned around and I said, why are we not going and got a striker? Now it's come out today that they're regretting just having Callum Wilson as their only striker. It all goes back to the board. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm not going to go after people that were content about change. Yeah, but trusting David Sullivan is the worst kind of trust you can ever put in someone. Because what has warranted trusting David Sullivan? That's the only question that I'd ask. And anyone who's on watching this on playback, put it in the comment section. What made you trust David Sullivan to do the right thing? Because I've never trusted this geezer. Never. I never will. I never will. Right? My trust for him went many, many years ago. And maybe I've just got to accept that people's faults are different to mine. Maybe. Do you know what I mean? People will come after me. Right? They've already come after me already over the last 24 hours. But one thing with me, which they've got to learn, is I don't care. I simply do not care. Do you know what I mean? I've been threatened to be stabbed to death. I've been threatened that my girlfriend's going to get attacked over the last 24 hours. All because I mentioned about Moyes. And that's because other people like to put stuff out there to influence these people's minds. The thing is with me, I'm not influencing your mind. I'm telling you exactly how it's going to go because I've seen it before with Sullivan and how he gets away with shit. The problem is he ain't getting away with it this year because who else is he going to throw under the bus? Who else can he blame now? He can't blame anyone else now because he hasn't got no one else to blame. I've had it all over the last sort of 24 hours, right? I find it quite laughable, really. Do you know what I'm saying? But if they want to stick it on me, they've got to realise there's not just one of me. There's many other people like me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not here to cause a divide in the fan base. Far from it. Yeah, I'm trying to get this club back to where it should be and at the fucking top. Do you know what I mean? We are West Ham United. We are a side that deserves to be in the Premier League. I don't want to see West Ham playing Preston on a Tuesday night at Deepdale. Fuck that for a laugh. Do you know what I'm saying? Our standards have got to be different. But I just feel we're going to run out of time. And I think us sitting there right now, we're relying on results already. And it's October. It's bad. Not a West Ham fan in the world would have picked that team on Friday night. What is going on to our beloved club? I see a video that Gonzo done earlier on about sabotage, right? And I sort of understand what he's trying to say. I really do. It wouldn't surprise me if Sullivan's fucking influencing it and all. It wouldn't surprise me. And listen, people are going to say, cool, you got your Sullivan hate hat on, James, right? Okay, fine. But when you look at the team he picked against Everton and you look at the team he picked against Brentford, it is night and day difference there. Right, I don't understand what Andy Irving's done to warrant a place in this side. Right, the fullbacks in wrong positions. It's very dysfunctional at West Ham. And I don't know why. It's not that hard to sort out. You mean you bring Igor in at centre half, you take out one of the centre halves because they can't header a ball. Yeah, you put your fullbacks in the right positions. For me, I'd go with Potts and Fernandes in the middle of the park as a two-man, and the front four has to be Somerville, Paqueta, Bowen, and Wilson. Like, if we're going to win games, we need to get them players on the pitch. Paqueta, he gets away with murder, but, you know, he's one of our better players. And then we just got one thing we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go for it in games now. Like, we're going to have to go, play to try and win. Like, we're playing not to lose, and that's a recipe for disaster, if I'm honest. Hi, James. Hope you're well. Nuno needs to pick the strongest 11. I can't watch the Debo Kilman. Igor needs to come in. I completely agree with you, mate. Shout out to Liam, who's a Newcastle fan. He's been in the comment section for a while, and he's been saying about the petition and everything. So shout out to Liam. I think you're in South East London, if I remember right, Liam. So yeah, I will bring in Damien by the looks of it. I think it is. So yeah, I'll bring him in a minute. So yeah, right. Let's get down to see what else we got. What good, fingers crossed, is we stay up this year. I think the only way we stay up, mate, is as long as we can get to January and we're not mega adrift. Well, we're adrift now by 4 points. So that's a win and a draw. When you look at our goal difference right now, that's technically 5 points. We're technically 5 points behind. We're on minus 13, I think, in goal difference. That's dangerous. Like we are playing with fire here, big time. So yeah. Let's have a look. See what Damien's got. So Damien, take it away, mate.
James, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Good,
life is wonderful. Go on.
Oh, it's fucking getting cold in the UK, bro. Getting cold in the UK. But remember when I said to you in the summer, yeah? Did we need a striker, James? Did we need a striker?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In my opinion, yeah. West Ham need to spend in January. I'll be honest. This is what I was gonna say. Yeah. While you were talking, my mind was just thinking about this. Yeah. You know, 2 players this club didn't replace well enough. Yeah. Declan Rice, obviously. Yeah. Because when we sold Declan Rice, yeah, me personally, I remember thinking to myself, get me 2 like Declan Rice. Get me 2 like Declan Rice. Get me 2 dynamic ball winners, and then Souček, you can kind of sit aside a little bit and you can start competing for places, be cover, yeah? We got one, and James Ward-Prowse. I'm not being silly, but what do people see in James Ward-Prowse that's going to be like a ball-winning dynamic centre midfielder, yeah? When we got Alvarez, yeah, for me, it's get another one like him. So you got 2 ball winners in front of the back 4, yeah? But we didn't go that direction, yeah? So Declan Rice is obviously one of them, yeah? And you know another one, which it was in the summer, Antonio. We didn't replace Antonio well enough. Mate, it's only 2 seasons ago, yeah, that Antonio was doing the most up top for us, man. And then people are happy with Fulkrug. Nah, man.
The thing is, Damien, right, listen, I hear you. Right, I do.
I see that. I feel like it becomes difficult to follow for certain people, yeah. But to me, Potter needed to go and get us a striker, man. Definitely. But
I think it's a collective. Hold on a minute. Listen, I'm going to say this, right? I think it's a collective of everything. I think it's an owner that didn't want to back him. It was Potter that was just a bit mad. But when you go through it, and I'm going to ask anyone in the chat, this question, yeah. So do put your comments in. From the moment Moyes left, and I know people hate to hear that name, Moyes, right? But he did. It was a great manager for us. And it pains people to say it, but he was. But since Moyes leaving to the present day, right, our recruitment's been fucking borderline a criminal offence. Like,
yeah, I agree.
127 million, 127.5 million pounds for Todibo, Kilman, Guilherme, and Fulkrug.
It's just direction. It's poor. But
no, what it is, Damien, what it is.
Yeah.
The reason why it's that bad is because you've got an owner in charge who is content. The owner is content about staying in the league.
It's too much chop and change. That's my opinion. I know you go after the owner all the time, which I understand, yeah. But it's too much chop and change. For me, they need to replenish certain areas of this team and then just accept if they want to stay in the Premier League. It's as simple as that. They need, in my opinion, to be a really good. I feel like we've got good players. I've always said this, yeah. I feel like players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Bowen, Diu.
But Damien, do we have a a good team?
Yeah. No, right. Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Right. So we have good players, but we don't have a good team. That's the problem.
Right.
Like we've got too many individuals and not enough as a team aspect.
Yeah, but Nuno needs to. For me personally, the system that I can only talk technically, innit? I'm not really. I don't know. Like for me, the system that the system that Potter kind of left us with, yeah, with that 4-3-3, yeah, was pretty much the best version of us, right? And I think Nuno carried that over for 2 games, yeah, And then at the international break, I think he kind of tried to find changes in the squad, yeah, in the squad, where realistically we weren't getting much better than that until after investment. Do you see what I mean? Like it's like I understand he was worried that we weren't like beating Everton, for example, yeah, because he come in quite ambitious, isn't it? He's thinking, all right, we've got decent players here, yeah, but and I think after the international break, obviously he only got to work with a certain group of players, and then he played that, and then he's not really been able to find his feet since. But to me personally, I think roughly what you're looking at is that because do you remember when we watched after the Everton game, I jumped on, yeah, and we were saying like kind of more of the same kind of thing, yeah. And then Arsenal, I remember you saying to me, I just don't want to be disgraced, yeah. And I was like, I hear that, yeah. So people start saying about, oh, people took Arsenal as a write-off. Let's be realistic. Nuno had been with the team for about 5 days, yeah. So, and let's put it into perspective as well. Yeah. Arsenal just beat Atletico Madrid 4-0, yeah. So Arsenal are a good side, yeah. To me, Nuno should have just accepted that was a result away from home at Emirates and kept pushing with that system pretty much. Like when Magassa got a yellow card, Potts come on.
Yeah, but something's happened, Damien. But Damien, something has happened from that Arsenal game, the 16-day period up to the Brentford game, and that now up to the present day. Because when you look at the Everton game, look at the Arsenal game, look at the team selections in there. And I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I did watch Gonzo's video, and it was a good video that he done earlier on. But something's not right. You're playing fullbacks in the wrong positions. Andy Irving's playing. You're playing in like the two of the slowest midfielders. It feels like to me that you're just putting out this shit team for the sake of it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what Freddie Potts has got to do, right? And that is the main thing here. Is I don't know what he has got to do to warrant a start for West Ham. West Ham are this bad at the minute, and Freddie Potts can't get on the pitch to start a game, which that baffles the life out of me. And he comes on the other night, and I thought he was a breath of fresh air. He's a boy who can control the situation with the ball to his feet. He's one of us. Right, we need someone in there who's going to die for this club, who bleeds claret and blue. And listen, Jared does a lot of stuff. Is Jared a captain material in a relegation dogfight? I don't think so. Right, I think that's a problem, but that's a different story. But Potts, for me, is a guy that you can bring in. At least he will run and run and run. We've got no runners. We've got nothing about us. Like against Leeds the other night, Damien. When you looked at that lineup, did you honestly think we would win? Because as soon as I looked at that lineup, I was like, "What is he doing to me?"
No, the worst thing about it is I looked at it, I was worried about it, and then it come out even worse than I thought it would be. I thought it was the wrong shape for that. I thought we were playing like a 5-3-2. For me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diouf, they are right and left back. That's that, or even if you want to play a back five, which I personally still wouldn't, I'd still play a back four. But for me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diouf start right and left back. That is a given. And then Somerville and Bowen start ahead of them. And then whatever system you're building around that is what you're building, isn't it? That's how I see it. Like I don't understand how we're getting inverted fullbacks when in reality Diouf and Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Somerville ahead of Diouf and Bowen ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka is pretty much the strength of that side. Is what I look at as the clear strength of that side. That would be a absolute guaranteed every single game that's available. They are 4 players, and for me, Areola on the team sheet. Like that to me is your strength, isn't it? Because you've got 2 inverted wingers, and I know Somerville hasn't produced a lot of GA in the Premier League for us, but he did have a difficult season last season, yeah.
But when you keep playing the ball to his feet though, and you really want him to
carry on. Let me carry on. So Somerville didn't get a lot of GA last season. I feel like Lopetegui didn't integrate Somerville well enough. Personally, I felt like I feel like he kept using Kudus out there because Kudus had a bit more physicality in it, yeah. But so I don't know. It just basically, I feel like the strength of that team is you've got Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right, and AWB overlapping Somerville, and Diouf overlapping. AWB overlapping Diouf, and fucking hell. AWB overlapping.
You will get there in a minute.
Diouf,
Go on.
Overlapping Somerville, and every system is built around that. If I'm Nuno and I'm looking to get something out of this team, they're the initial kind of 4 or 5 I'm working with, and then whether you go a 3 at the back, a 2 at the back, and build your midfield and front line around it. But I don't see a point in inverted fullbacks personally. But listen, I feel like there are key strengths in this team that you can build around. I don't think we should have. I feel like there were points for grabs against.
So before I let you go, right? Before I let you go, are we going down?
Mate, it's down to Nuno to find the right system. For me personally,
but hold on, Damien. But does Nuno have?
I'm not sure.
I don't think he's got the players, mate. For me, I think he's got a mixture of players. And listen, don't get me wrong. His 2 selections this week have been fucking dreadful. I'm like, listen, and there's no defending that, yeah. And I'm with you on that one. But I feel
you know what I would do? You know what I would do up until Jan? Sorry, let me. You said it would be my last thing, so it will be. Yeah, up until Jan. Yeah, what I would do is go to the same system pretty much. Yeah, that Potter left us with, and because Mavropanos is injured, I'd play Todibo there. And I'm not saying I wouldn't have started Todibo there. Otherwise, I'm just saying that he is your only option there. And I would play Souček up front instead of Fulkrug and just try and persevere up until January. And then, in my opinion, even if we were 13th by the end of January, even if we were 13th by the end of January, this board still need to put money into this side, bro. It doesn't matter. It's not about, we might get relegated, so we might pay. No, you need to put money into this side anyway. I started off this conversation with saying there are 2 profiles that you did, or 2 players that you did not replace well enough. Antonio and Declan Rice. Your bad decision-making has depleted away from those 2 kind of quality players in 11. So you need to go and replenish it. I'm not saying it has to be £100 million midfielder and a £50 million striker, but you need to add some quality into this team, West Ham. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as they need to make up for. This is why I have a go at Brady, yeah. Potter come in and he started playing us as a 5 at the back, yeah, which is fine, yeah. But I said he's misread the identity of the side, in my opinion, but in my opinion, that 4-3-3 is what you take up until January. And me personally, I would try and build on it. So that's how I would do it. But
fair enough, mate. Take it easy.
Me personally, I feel like Nuno needs to go back to what he basically picked up at Arsenal and Everton. And honestly, I'd play Todibo right centre back instead of Mavropanos, who started that game, and I would play Souček up top.
No worries at all, mate. Take care, Damien. That has been Damien. When he speaks, I just have to sit here and listen. Do you know what I mean? As you do. So yeah, right. Get Peter in. Peter, how you doing, mate? Take it away.
I don't know what to say, mate. To be honest with you, it's just fucking shit, isn't it?
He's bad, mate.
I watched that game on a Friday, and I just couldn't believe again the team he put out. I just think to myself, what fucking planet are you on? We can all see it as fans. I mean, I'm a passionate West Ham fan like you are, James. I'm so passionate, and I just couldn't believe again the team he put out. You know, you're playing the same fucking midfield that you put out against Brentford in Andy Irvine in midfield with Souček, no legs, no midfield, and I just don't know what the fucking manager's looking at, mate. I just don't know what he's looking at.
I just hope, Peter, he ain't getting influenced by someone upstairs. That's the only thing I'm hoping.
Well,
Because when you look at the team against Everton, it was the right balanced side. Everyone was up for it. The last week, we've seen two sides which I don't think no West Ham fan, and I'm not speaking for all West Ham fans here, but I don't think no West Ham fan would have picked that side. Not one person on the planet.
No.
And if we can't pick that side, and there's millions of West Ham fans all around the world, then how does Nuno go and pick that side unless he's been told that certain man can't play or whatever? I don't know. I've not got the answers, if I'm honest.
That's the only thing I can think of, mate. I can't think of anything else. You know what I mean? Unless obviously the fucking bald up there. Well, that prick, that cunt. Don't get me started about Sullivan. But yeah, obviously, unless he's having an influence in the starting lineup, I don't know, mate. It's just like we've had 3 managers now. Potter was, had to go, and now we got Nuno in, and he's just doing the same fucking thing. He's just doing the same thing. Why not? What's Potts got to do to get a start in this fucking team?
That's the question that I need answering. And on Sunday at 1 o'clock or 1:45 on Sunday, if I see Andy Irving in the lineup again, I think I'm done with Nuno straight away. Right? Because I think Freddie Potts, if you want to learn something right now, because what are we learning with Andy Irving other than nothing? We're not learning nothing with Andy Irving, right?
No.
So for me, Freddie Potts is there. Yeah. He's a West Ham. Like, it means a lot to be a West Ham fan if you're playing for your club, because it feels like you don't want to let the club down, right? So Freddie will run that extra few yards and give it everything for the shirt because you're emotionally attached to the club, right? Yeah. So if Freddie plays, then great. If I see Andy Irving again, then I'm going to be looking and going like, someone's pulling the strings upstairs. Has to be. I can't figure out who else it could be.
Has to be, because there's nothing in that fucking team. There's nothing that's gonna. I mean, I love going to bits, but he's not captain material. He's got no, and to be honest with you, when you look around that team, who's gonna fight?
Yeah, I know. His Peter's just cut out, I think. I'll tell you what, he's cut out. He's just froze on me. I'm going to kick him out. He'll come back and round it up in a minute. But what Peter's saying is true. Like, with Freddie, like, I feel like Freddie needs to be given the opportunity now. I don't know what he's got to do to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, does anyone know? Can anyone tell me in the chat why Freddie can't get a starting lineup appearance? So I don't know. Russ says, how many signatures are on the petition so far? Apparently it's only 15,000, which, if it's gone up, I haven't looked at it because I signed it very, very early. I think I signed it when there was about 1,000 people on it. So I think it's about 15,000 people. And when you look at how many signatures on the petition and basically how many fans there is, and there is a lot of fans of West Ham all around the world, 15,000 is like a drop in the ocean, isn't it? Let's be real. So, Jesus Christ, people need to get on. That Burnley game is coming up. I feel like with that Burnley game, I think that will, I feel like that will be the explosion that will happen, if I'm honest. Especially if we get absolutely hammered against Newcastle. Now, the Newcastle game's coming up on Sunday. And I think they're going to have a fucking field day with us, especially with our 2 centre halves who can't header a ball. And I put something up on Twitter the other day, right? It was Kirk Zuma and Craig Dawson, 2 people that knew how to header a ball. And even someone made me laugh on Twitter. They did. They turned around and said that Kirk Zuma with 1 leg is better than both our centre halves that we've got right now. Like, we paid like £74 million for them to. And, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how things have aligned. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, dear, let's have a look, see what else you got here. West Ham under 21s versus Swindon, live on Sky tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We might see West Ham victory at last. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. Let's get to this one. Nuno seems to like a man who seen the mess and wants out as soon as possible. Maybe. I don't know though. I don't know because him taking the job and then him doing what he's doing, something's changed. Honestly, I'd love to know what people think on this year, but something definitely has changed in that 2-week international break. Like maybe he was told that the funds that he was supposedly going to be getting in January, he ain't going to be getting. Maybe it might be something like that. The problem is we need to have a big January, yeah. And there's 2 problems with this situation in January. The first problem is Sullivan doesn't like to spend in January, so I think you're going to see a few loans in there. I'm not too sure who we've got on loan. I don't think we've got any players on loan. I might be wrong there, right? Or is it Igor? Is Igor on loan? Maybe I can't remember, but I think we go after a few loans. I think we're only going to sign about 2 or 3 players at the bare minimum, because I think depending where West Ham are in the league will depend on how much they go for it. If West Ham are 4 points behind and come January the 1st, maybe he might go out and go, right, let's blast our way out of this financially. But I can't see it. I can't see it really, if I'm being honest. Right, Peter's back.
Sorry, mate. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, your internet cut out, Peter.
Yeah.
So, Peter, do you think that we're going to go down this year?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%, mate. Because there's no fight in that team. And, and everyone's saying, oh, wait till you get to January. Is they going to be... That board won't fucking spend 100 million to change this team. And it's not just that. We'd be too far adrift, mate.
Yeah,
we'd be too far adrift. We'd be too far behind.
Don't you... let me ask you something. Where do you think it's gone wrong with West Ham? Basically, from 2 years ago to like the present day, where do you, like, in your opinion, where do you think it has gone wrong for you?
Recruitment wise.
Yeah.
Recruitment, 100%. We ain't brought enough good players into this team. And it's not just that. What annoys me is, after that Prague, we had the best night of our lives. I'm 44. To see West Ham win a trophy meant everything to me and my family and everybody else. And, we're all West Ham. My dad was West Ham. My mum was West Ham. And we're not here anymore, God rest their souls. But, yeah, it's just, and for me, it's all down to recruitment, mate. It's all down to recruitment. And he had the perfect opportunity when Moyes left to go out and get a decent manager and pay someone off to get someone in. And what did he do? Went for the cheap option and got Locatelli, who couldn't really speak a word of English. So, it baffles me, mate. It baffles me. Really,
I do agree. I do agree with you on it. I do. The recruitment has been bad. The appointment of managers has been bad. There's been even so much so. And listen, people got this thing with Mikel Antonio. Yeah, Mikel Antonio leaving. Fair enough. There's never been a pre-planning situation at West Ham. Not once.
No.
Like, we've known for years that Antonio was going to be leaving at some point. And our best solution for that is Callum Wilson. Like, that's where this is where my hate for the board. I'm glad that there's top people on it now. Like Hammers United are good people. Right, I trust them. The fans advisory board guy who come on the space the other day, had on a space on Twitter. He come on, he spoke absolutely superbly. So in such a way that it gives me relief to say that there's a geezer there who knows what he's doing. He's going to be going after him in the right way, not in the aggressive way, but in the right way with facts and figures and evidence, basically. And I just feel like this season, the thing with me is I feel like West Ham are going to run out of time.
Yeah, they are.
I think by the time we sort this situation out at West Ham, there's going to be no time left to sort it out, and that's where the problem is. Like, how do you feel about the protests and all that?
I think it's fantastic. Yeah. I hope it continues, and I'd get anybody to sign that petition. I've obviously signed it on Claret and Blues, and get behind this protest to get this let's just say bastard out of this club. He's ruining this club from top to bottom. And obviously, I will be there for Burnley. Obviously, I won't be able to make the Newcastle one, but I will be there on the march. I won't be going to the game because I don't want to go inside that stadium anymore. It's an absolute shithole. But I'll be going to the march, and I'll get everybody behind this. Get everybody behind this march. Get everybody. If you're a West Ham fan through and through, like me and yourself, James, we've got art on our sleeves, mate. Get behind this protest and get yourself down to Stratford High Street and do that. And if you care anything about West Ham, then you will be there and get behind this protest.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Like I've been with it for a long time, and do you know what? The day he goes, fucking, it'd be like the biggest weight off my shoulders in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'll throw a party.
Oh, well, yeah. I think I'll have a party here, 100%. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it'd just be like a welcome relief to say, you know what, the big bag of wolves at the door. But it's going to take a time though, because as I've always said, I don't think he's going to go down. He's going to go down fighting Sullivan and Brady. But the problem is that how much damage is going to have to happen before we get him out. I just hope it ain't so much damage that it's going to take us about 10 years to get back to where we are. Because I look at teams like, for instance, Leicester City. 10 years ago, they won the Premier League, and you look at them now, and they are like they're nowhere near the Premier League. Like, do you know what I mean? It's in standard. So you know, it is what it is. Peter, I'm gonna let you go, mate. Take care of yourselves. All the best to you, mate.
Thanks for having me on, James.
No worries at all, mate. Anytime. Take care. That has been Peter. And Peter's had his say. Get your final comments in. Anything you want to say. Just, you know. Ian says Nuno's looking for an early payoff. He has history. Well, he does. He does. Maybe he's just bitten off more than he can chew. Do you know what I'm saying? He really has. Let's have a look. What else we got here? I'll tell you what. Where's my phone? Oh, it's on charge over there. I've had a good picture of a night game. I stuck it on Twitter the other day, and it done really well. West Ham, Upton Park, all the lights, all the crowd in there. I think it's in the what end was that? I think that was in like the Bobby Moore lower, but in the corner. It looks like, because you can see the away end at the other side along the chicken run, and obviously you can see the Dr. Martin stand. Do you know what I mean? And it's such a nice photo. I posted something, and so many people had like so many memories of walking down to like Upton Park, basically on Green Street and everything. And you know what? It's just sad that the way it has gone with this club. It really has. And we are fighting to stay in this league. We really are. I just hope West Ham can perform a miracle. Do you know what I mean? Because one thing we are going to need drastically is a change, like, of fortune on Friday night. And I am going to mention about Friday night because it was such heartbreaking to see, like, us just looking all over the place. One thing I've got to give credit to, and I have got to give these people credit, is the away following on Friday night. I thought they was absolutely superb from start to finish. Singing. I could hear them, and I was like, they was trying to be the 12th man. The issue is that the players on the pitch just don't. I think half of them don't care. I think the other half of them do care, but they're doing it on their own. Like, there's moments on Friday night where Jared was doing a lot of stuff on his own, and you know, it just feels like the West Ham cycle's gone round full circle, which is, it's painful to see, man. It really is. It is. Like, listen, whatever people think of me and all that, and I'm probably going to wrap up this by the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to West Ham, one thing I don't want to see is this club fall apart. Like, that's the last thing I want to see is this club fall apart, because there's too much history in this club, and we're going to have to do a lot to try and recover this. We really are. Let's get to Anthony's comment. Anthony James, 6110. Do you think Sully was ever going to give Moyes a contract worth staying, or was it his plan to always get rid? I think he was always going to. I think anyway, let me word this. I think he was always going to give him a contract, but I feel like the terms on the contract was never going to match what Moyes wanted, so he was always going to leave. The issue is that trusting Sullivan to find a next manager was the worst kind of trust that you could ever put in someone. Do you know what I mean? When you like, name me 3 things Sullivan's done good at this club. Like I'd ask anyone that. Just name me 3 possible things that he's done good. And I've just never trusted Sullivan. Never. I look at him and I think there's always a motive. Like there's always an angle. You've always got a situation where you're looking at it from a financial point of view. When I look at Bournemouth and I look at Bournemouth's structure is unbelievable. And this is a club that went down into League Two, I remember. And I have one of the boys from, I think it's not the Back of the Net podcast, but I can't remember the name of his, one of the Bournemouth fan channels. I have him on here. And he always said to me that they was that close to going into administration and going out of business. Like they was really close. And what they've done, Bournemouth, is they've built a structure there. And this is where, when people say about the move from Upton Park to Stratford, when you look at Bournemouth, their structure's unbelievable. They sell players at high rates. The player that is turning it up and turning it on for them at the minute is Coupier. And that's a geezer that West Ham was always going to go after. Back in January, last season, I think it was, we was on the verge of getting him. And then Sullivan pulled the plug right at the last minute. And he was at Orient, I think it was. So, you know, when you go down that route of penny pinching, you can only penny pinch for so long. The issue is, if West Ham go down this year, does that mean that David Sullivan's gone from West Ham? I think if anything, it keeps him in the club for longer, which is, you know. The West Ham board given Nuno Espirito Santos a vote of confidence. Aces, where have you heard that one, mate? I know you're an Arsenal fan, but where have you heard that one? Potts has to start on Sunday. I don't want to see Irving or Souček in this team. Too slow, not good enough. I think it has to be Potts and Fernandes. Right? It's either Potts or Fernandes, or Potts and Magassa, and have a fluent front 4 of like Somerville, Bowen, Paqueta or Fernandes, either way. And then it's got to be Callum Wilson up front. West Ham have to go with a striker. Simple as that. Their vote of confidence means sweet fuck all. That is very true, I must admit. When they give them a vote of confidence, they're going to win a game and they keep them in there for 5. So, you know. One of the supporters of West Ham Fan TV. Fair enough, mate. Sullivan is not to blame. He has spent millions given to the managers. It's the managers who have wasted it on poor signings. Now, I disagree with Damien on that comment. It is down to Sullivan, because Sullivan employed or allowed Tim Stein to come in and spend £127.5 million on Todibo, Forkrug, Lewis Guilherme and Max Kilman. Anyone who has gone to Wolves and said, we will give you 40 million for Max Kilman, you have to be seriously looking at that and go, what are you seeing that we're not? Like, because you've got to be seeing something. Yeah. Max is just the price tag on Max is frightening, to say the least. £40 million. And when I look at £40 million players, centre halves, they blow Max out the water. Do you know what I'm saying? And Todibo, let's not get carried away with Todibo. And that's a great comment. And this is where it goes full circle with me with the Moyes thing, right? That comment there, Timmy the puppet. He was a puppet, Steiden. But I think fans believe that Steiden was going to come in and be able to have control, right? But he was never going to have control, mate. Not under Sullivan's control. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the heartbreaking thing. I wish I could turn back 2 years ago and look at it and really go to town and say, listen, we need to look at Sullivan here big time. I think people got blindsided by the manager going and the new manager coming in. Difference is now the situation. It's not good. So Anthony Ryan or Antonio Ryan, I may say, Sullivan is doing this on purpose, like he did in 2010 to clear debt. Interesting. What makes you think he's doing it on purpose? And what regard is he doing it on purpose? And you could let us know. I appreciate it because yeah, he does do a lot. I must admit, he's done so much. That's a great comment. Wolves saw us coming. Wolves fans said, "Why are you paying £40 million for him?" When you go back, Tadibo was meant to be the next Saliba. Fucking hell, Salami, not Saliba. Fucking heck, that was shit. Let's go to this one. Liverpool have lost 4 on the trot, so they're going to struggle. We've got 29 games left. It's too early to panic. I disagree, Gaz. Liverpool have got world-class players. We haven't got world-class players in our ranks. And Liverpool's sort of poor run, yeah, is a bit different to ours. But when I look at us right now, I just don't see how we get out of it with the personnel that we've got. Now, what Damien was saying earlier, I sort of understand what he's saying. I really do. In regards, you've got to get players into their natural positions and literally play your best team. I think Nuno, I think if we go and sack another manager at Christmas, and that means we've had 2 managers in the space of 6 months, then we deserve to go down in some aspect because we're never going to get any stability, never at all. And that's where the worry is for me. It really is. And look at this comment I'm about to pull up. Saliba and Gabriel, 55 mil for the pair, and we paid 74 million for the pair for Tadibo and Kilman. Fucking unbelievable. Do you know what? I am going to get to this, and I don't know whether this is Damien or not. I think it is Damien, but this is a great comment that I do want to get to, right? Mark Noble was another MIA puppet on the board strings. Now, I don't want no one to come at me because I've already had people coming at me today. And at this rate, I've got about a list of 1,000 people that want to serve me up, stab me up, and want to hurt my missus. But this comment right here is valid. It is very much valid. Where is Mark Noble in all this? Like, where is he? There is a situation at West Ham, and we have not heard or seen or anything from Mark. And I feel like he should come out and say something in regards of the team, not the owner, because I know he can't say that, but about the team. He needs to really go in there and put his foot down and say, come on, you're representing us. I love Mark Noble, right? And I stand by him, yeah, because he's a year older than me, and I've grown up watching Mark Noble, right? So listen, I've got a feeling towards Mark, but with anything, you've got to call it out. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And I feel like Mark's sitting in the shadows and not saying nothing. Why is he not saying anything of any note? Why is he not saying, right, if he's training the kids or all that, why don't Mark say, no, I need to be in amongst this first team because this team's going down, just until we get into a situation of control. We've got all these coaches at West Ham, but really we need someone in there who's seen it and done it, and also who knows these players, who's worked with some of these players, like your Paquetas, your Bowens, your Součeks, your Lucas Fabianskis. Right, we're going to need experienced personnel, and I just don't think we've got anyone in there. Like, and that's where is he? Like that's just a simple question: is where is Mark Noble? Like, you know, the only thing I can think of is an NDA in his contract. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all, because when he had that Dean Garner thing back in the day, Mark went on to social media and voiced his sort of displeasure at the board. Right? Wouldn't surprise me if there's an NDA or something like that in the contract that says that he can't call out the board members. I'm not asking him to call the board out because I know his hands are a bit tired. Even Carlton Cole the other day, he was on Talk Sport and he turned around and he sort of sat there and went, well, you know, I work for the club, just come at me. And it was like, listen, you like, if you're not gonna if you're gonna work for them, you've got to understand that we're going to call out the people that are working for them, because behind the scenes, we don't know how bad it is. That's the problem. Right? We generally do not know how bad the situation is behind the scenes at West Ham. And it could be even worse than we even think. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's one man that I'm going to give credit to who's in the media world right now, and that's Crofty. Anyone who knows who Crofty is, he does the F1, Formula One presenter, and he's a West Ham fan. And I thought he spoke absolutely brilliant. I tweeted a message to TalkSport and to Crofty live on an open feed, and I said I'd like to see if you can get Crofty on when it comes to West Ham related content for TalkSport, because I thought Crofty spoke well. I thought he spoke with class and dignity. I thought what he said about Karen Brady, about The Apprentice, is absolutely spot on. Why is Karen Brady still here? That's another thing. Why is Brady still here? Why has Brady not been sacked for the disaster class with Potter, right? And the vanity project that he mentioned about Sullivan, absolutely spot on. It's all about Sullivan's ego. Everything is about Sullivan's ego, right? When he signs players, it's him, right? When another man signs a player, it's, oh, you know, it's gone wrong. So, you know, what does Brady do? Not a lot, Liam. I'm going to be straight. Not a lot. She's all right going on TalkSport and saying how great things are. And that, I'm trying to find that TalkSport clip of her that I had after the Sunderland game. West Ham played Sunderland on the Saturday, the first game of the season. On the Sunday, she had a booked appearance on TalkSport. What she didn't realise was West Ham was going to go up to Sunderland and get hammered. And fans were looking at her. And this is where it's all stemmed from, if I'm being honest. People have had enough of this situation. And so have I. How big would a win on Sunday be, do you think? It'd be huge, mate. I think any win right now is huge for West Ham. I think we have to get out of this next two games with at least 4 points. At least, right? One thing West Ham have got to do is they've got to start picking up points. Whether it's a point against Newcastle and a win against Burnley. My worry is that if we lose the next two games, then I just can't see it. I just can't. It would, like, players would have to turn into absolute machines, and they just ain't going to do it. So, you know, let's get to this comment. If we go down, Sullivan will save money and gain money, as in selling our best players, cutting the wage bill, and the rent of the stadium goes down if we're in the Championship. That's a great comment. That's a great comment. That's why I've always stood by this when I say it, that if we ever go down to the Championship, I don't think Sullivan will sell. I've always stood by that. People are adamant that, no, we go down, Sullivan will lose money and he'll sell up. I just don't believe it, because that comment right now is the reason why I don't believe it. And that's a great comment. That's comment of the night from Antonio Ryan there. Everything goes in Sullivan's favour in that regard. You ain't got to go out and spend mega money on transfers. And the thing is, we are asking Sullivan to go out in January and do something that he's never done, and do like a massive spend up in January. He always says it's hard to find good players in January. We've heard that line so many times over the years. So, you know, I've got no faith in him. None. James, cheer up, mate. We ain't going down, no way. I love your optimism, Gaz. I really do, mate. I really do. But I'd like you to tell me, Gaz, why you think we won't go down. Right? Just give me 3 examples of why you think we won't go down. Because for me, I look at it and I feel like we are a sinking ship. 100%. Right, I'm going to try and get through these comments. Jake, I'm with Gaz. I don't think we will, but it ain't looking positive at the minute. Well, we need to get points in the next 2. I know that. To have a chance of survival, we need to get a win soon. Otherwise, losing becomes an habit and it could prove fatal. We will need to get some unexpected results in order to stay up as well as a January window. Great comment. Another great comment there. Completely agree, word for word, everything you just said there. The unexpected results against good teams. Can West Ham do it? It would surprise me. A January window that has to go peach perfect. West Ham have to get all their signings perfect with no disasters. And also, with that comment, which I'm going to go back to that comment quick, no injuries at all. Because what it is, we're dropping down with injuries. We've got Skulls out, Mavropanos out, Forkrug out. I know Forkrug shit, but still got to count him. Let's get to Hannah. Hannah Lucy. Feel for you guys since the move of stadiums. If I'm honest, the above knows fuck all about the passion of the football club. I'm a Leeds fan. I was there on Friday. Hope you pick up this season. Shout out to Hannah. And you know what? Some of the Leeds fans who come on my afterthought were funny. Some of them were like really funny, and then some of them were actually like really good comments saying, "Listen, we understand what you're going through." One thing I will say is like Leeds reminds me of West Ham in the North. It really does. They're a passionate club. They're a good club, Leeds. I've always had time for Leeds. Like when I look at teams who I dislike, Leeds are not one of them. I always think Leeds are a sort of side that you can support and they get behind their club through thick and thin. And that club's been through thick and thin a hell of a lot. So, fair play to them. And the irony is, we play them last game of the season at the LS. Like, if we get within touching distance, that game in the LS in the end of May, I think it is, May 25th, I think the game is. If that game materialises, then one of us could be going down. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Good comment from Hannah there. Let's get to this one. I read a comment on Hammer's chat video that said, I don't want the old West Ham back. I want the new West Ham. I was promised when we moved. It just goes to show these owners have not delivered. I sort of agree with what they're saying, mate. A lot of people want the new West Ham, but they're never going to get it. Never. So, lots may disagree, but going down at times can be a good thing in the long run. I think, Hannah, if I'm honest, if we go down, it's going to be hard for a lot of people because the fan base is split really down the line. A lot of people have walked away from West Ham as a collective. Going down to the Championship with an half-empty stadium, there's no guarantees that West Ham can fire themselves back into the league. I feel like the Championship's getting closer to the Premier League, and it proves it this year. If you keep taking the piss out the Championship sides, eventually these Championship sides are going to come up and have a right go. And I think Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland have all proved that this year. That this year it's going to be competitive down there. The issue with us is, I don't think we've got enough to warrant getting out of it. Do you know what I mean? I think we've got individual quality players, like your Bowens, your Paquetas, your Juves. I think that individually you look at them and think, yeah, good player. But as a team, I just don't think we've got it. I don't think we've got the team spirit. I don't think everyone's fighting in the same direction. Half of this team don't want to be here. So it's a recipe for disaster, if I'm honest. If we go down, we will lose 150 million in TV revenue. Of course, no owner wants their club to go down. Sullivan's problem is he always wants to do things on the cheap. It's very true. It's very true. Jake says, one win changes everything. Play our best team on Sunday, and we all know what football is like. Confidence and a ride could turn quickly. I'm with you on it though, mate, but I don't think it's going to be easy when you got a Newcastle side who have spent a lot of dough, a hell of a lot of dough. Your fans and Leeds fans, best fans I've seen at St James's Park. Yeah, mate, 100%. What we got here? Ellen Road atmosphere was great. Proper ground, great banter between the fans. I did see a clip, funny enough, of the fans going at each other And I thought, yeah, that was pretty good. I actually went up to Yorkshire, went up to Lancashire a few years ago with the missus, and I went past Leeds' ground, and yeah, they are a passionate bunch. Do you know what I mean? Seeing me in like West Ham cap doesn't really go down well. It's a bit like that. Let's get to Peter. If I can get this comment up. Oh, here you go. How many points from safety do you think we have to be for the ball to spend big in January? My worry is if we're far behind, they won't bother. That's the $1 million question, mate. That's the $1 million question that needs to be asked. If Sullivan cares, it doesn't matter how much he spends, like to try and get us out of this. My issue is with Sullivan is that you could have spent this money in the summer and really gone to town and really gone and got a striker and gone and got other players in. We sat there with the lies of the sell to buy bollocks, the complete lies that come out of the club. If West Ham are 9-10 points behind, I don't think he goes in there and invests as much as he should do, if I'm honest. Let's get down here. Our biggest issue fighting relegation is our pathetic home atmosphere. Obviously, I can't speak for that. I'm the wrong person to speak for that. But, you know, we need to win a game there first before anyone can get up for the challenge. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Are we able to go and win a game there? I don't think we are. So, you know, if I say we ain't going down, then we ain't. Gaz, if you're right, mate, listen, I rate your positivity, Gaz, but I'm just not there, mate. I'll tell you what, my positivity will change in the next two games. I think, listen, the last two games, I said West Ham needed at least 4 points. We've got none. The next two games, I think we need at least 4 points. Do you know what I mean? One thing West Ham have got to do, right, and this has to be the plan now moving forward for the remainder of the season, West Ham have to try and get as close to these sides as humanly possible. They can't get adrift anymore, right? If obviously at the weekend, I think Burnley are playing Arsenal. I think Leeds are away against someone, and Sunderland are miles away. Like Sunderland won't go down now, right? Because they're too far, right? They're too far in front. The issue is with us, all we've got to do is try and maintain this till January. Just keep nicking points, trying to nick wins, right? If we can nick a win from somewhere against these sides, come January, like, and I'm going to go through like the fixture list right now. This is off the top of my head, so if I'm wrong, I do apologise. We've got Newcastle, Burnley, Bournemouth. I think the next one after Bournemouth is Liverpool, right? Then I think we've got Manchester United in there. We've got Brighton in there. We've got Manchester City in there somewhere towards the back end of December. Then we've got our three fixtures after Christmas are probably three of the biggest fixtures you're ever likely to have. Brighton, Wolves, Fulham. Fulham's obviously on the 27th. I think it's Fulham, Brighton and Wolves. I think it's in that order. They are massive. But them three games going into that sort of January window, right? If we can get some points there, then we might be okay. But I don't want to be negative, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. See, look, I've got a couple of comments. Let's have a look. We could be gone by Christmas. I can't see the ball putting in much money in Jan. Even if they do, what kind of players are we going to get? See, that's a great comment and all, right? I look at that and I think, who do you trust? Like, who do you trust to go and play for us and keep us in the league? That's the $1 million question, right? I'm seeing things like Ivan Toney. Now, Ivan Toney, I've been banging the drum for Ivan Toney for years. Like, bring Ivan Toney to the club. I think he would be the perfect replacement for Mikel Antonio. Obviously, he went to Saudi for the money. Fine, is what it is, right? If Ivan Toney comes to West Ham in the January window, right, that's a great signing because he will score goals for us. He's a natural born finisher. He knows how to hold the ball up. Yeah, I like that one. After that, we've got problems in defence. Like our defence, like having two centre halves who can't head a football is just the most embarrassing thing going. Like that is so criminally bad, like beyond belief bad. You know, like so we can't defend corners, crosses, or free kicks. We are fucked. Do you know what? I thought this the other day, mate. Shout out to Harry, I think it is. Sunday's gonna Sunday. We've got to defend Dan Burn and Voldemar from corners. Jesus, man. Like Dan Burns guaranteed goal, mate. That is guaranteed goal if I've ever seen it in all my life. And if you want to bet from me, Dan Burns to score any time because us at corners are just, yeah, absolutely dreadful. Let's get to this one. No matter what we have to spend, no matter what, we have to spend big in Jan. We either need to go all out to stay up or build for the next season whilst we have the money. That the board will do either. True. But what do you do in that situation though? Like, because that's a good point. What do you do in that situation? Do you go and spend the money to try and stay in the league, or do you go, right, we're probably going to go down now, right? We might as well go out and buy a couple of young players for next season and then go from there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would find it wrong if he goes out and tries to bring in players for next season, knowing that we're already down. Because my attitude is they've got to care for the club. I don't think they care. London East 80. Shout out to you, mate, wherever you are. Hope you're well. As long as Nuno plays his best players, we'll be fine. In 2025, version of Souček and ADRIFT will relegate any team, including the ones at the top of the league, if played consistently. I agree, mate. I sort of agree on that one. But will Nuno play his best team though? Like with Nuno, it is such a tricky one with him because what it is, people don't like the style of play that Nuno plays, right? But Nuno's been thrown into a situation where I don't think any of these players suit the way he plays, other than Bowen. But when I look at the way he plays and he had his flying wingers at Forest, Nuno built that up. I just think that like he's working with absolute crap. Now, some of these players do need to be taken into accountability of like, you know, come on now, you represent us. What you're going to do about it? Nothing. That's the problem. Let's get to this one. If we don't spend money on players in January, we will be relegated. That's the only solution. I sort of agree with you on that, mate. I really do. James, mate, if we are 12 points from 17th position come January, then I think it will be impossible for them. We will have to win all our games and hope other teams lose around us. Well, we're in a bit of a situation right now where we're relying on teams to lose, but we're hoping teams lose already, and it's only October, right? For me, I look at it and I think, how long can you go on relying on other teams when we're not doing the job ourselves? Now, as I say, the Newcastle and Burnley games are massive. Back-to-back home games. It needs to be said that if we don't get anything out there and we go into another international break. And I asked someone the other day, I turned around and said to someone, I said, how many points after 10 games is the lowest points West Ham's ever had? And someone said 4. It come back in like when West Ham played in the 70s, it was 2 points for a win instead of 3. And then there was another time where West Ham had 3 points. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Scott. Just give us £2. Thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate it, mate. Was there any truth in the Hendrick loan rumour? I don't think so, mate. Just picture this, right? A highly sought after Brazilian international, yeah, and because he's mates with Luis Guilherme, people think he's coming to us. Like, what can we? Like, we need solid, reliable Premier League footballers. We don't need chances. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he couldn't come in and be a success, but bloody hell, we rely on a youngster to come in and save the day for us. I just don't see it. If he comes, then great. I think I think the Ivan Toney thing makes sense. Comes back to London, he starts straight away. He's probably going to be looking to try and get in the England side. And the one thing that might go in our favour in regards of signing top players is the World Cup. The World Cup could be our one saving grace, because there will be a lot of players at clubs that will be looking to try and play consistently for the next 4 months, 5 months to warrant going into that side. And if they come into a West Ham side and they manage to turn it around for West Ham, and just say for argument's sake, West Ham signed 4 players, right? Just for argument's sake. And those 4 players all make an impact for West Ham in a positive way. So that's your centre half, your centre forward, your midfielders, whatever. Then they could become like sort of saving graces. We need a Carlos Tevez, and even that to a point, a Jesse Lingard type signing. That's what we need, right? If the only way we're getting out of this situation is if we get a maverick of some note coming in and saving the day for us. I look at the team that we've got right now, right? This current crop of players that we've got right now are sending us down. Like, there is not one aspect of me that thinks that these players can just turn up and turn it on. Do you know what I mean? There's too many players that are, their minds elsewhere. Lucas Paqueta, I really wanted him to stay, yeah? And after the Nottingham Forest game on the first international break in September, he goes away, he comes back, and that's it. He hasn't turned up since. Lucas Paqueta, John Claire Todibo is another one who needs to be mentioned quite a lot. Keelman, you've got your central midfielders, like, who we can't get rid of. See, that's a great comment now. This is the sort of players that I'm thinking. Iggy goes pop. People like Conor Gallagher's. People that will be looking to try and make a claim to get into that England side. Conor Gallagher will be a great option if he wants to get into the World Cup squad. Completely agree. Completely agree. But what kind of players are realistic? I think there's a few, mate. I think Tony's realistic. I really do. Like, it makes a lot of sense. He comes back to London. Everyone's got their players in already there. He starts every game for us. Like, he comes in and he starts every single game for West Ham. We need someone like a Maguire at the back. That's someone that we need. We need someone who's a leader, right? Because I don't see enough leaders on this pitch. I see too many people going into the shadows when it all goes wrong. We need someone like, I'm going to be honest, we need someone like fucking Conor Gallagher. Someone who's like a terrier, is going to run around, get yellow cards, but really have a go. That's what we need. I just don't see it. James, I think John Victor is still waiting at the airport. Don't get me started on that, mate. Right, yet again, the old bait and switch from Sullivan was just there for all to see, wasn't it? Complete bait and switch. James, I feel we are going to get some of Mendes' clients. I can see it now. Yeah, but it depends on who, mate. And it depends, are they ready for the fight? Tony's on more than $500,000 a week. Yeah, but the problem is, though, Dagenham Outlet, I think his season comes to an end out in Saudi, and a loan move to a Premier League side will sort of try and stake a claim to get him into the side. It's only going to be a loan. West Ham won't sign him. There's also something to do with the tax system and all over in Saudi. I'm not too sure how that works, but, you know, it is what it is. What we got here. Todibo and Kilman have had 2 second string inverted fullbacks next to them. I think you're making too many excuses there, Damien. Do you know what I mean? They might have had 2 second string inverted fullbacks, but them 2 guys right there can't header a football. And you don't need inverted fullbacks to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? These are centre halves who won't header a football. Oh, Troja's in the chat, and Troja's turned around and said, I believe it's game over. And that is coming from Troj, mate. And Troj is one of them people that will always believe there's hope. But if Troj is saying it's over, mate, trust me. Oh, dear. Tadibo might be the worst defender I've ever seen. I think he's up there with Gary Breen, mate. If I'm honest, Gary Breen, Roger Johnson. I thought Hayden Fox was shit. Anyone remembers Hayden Fox? I thought he was crap, like the Aussie geezer. Yeah, so many. There's so many. But I think if we would have bought Tadibo last year, I think we would have sold him this year. But the problem is we had him on loan with an obligation to buy. That's not good. Let's get to this one. What pisses me off was I was saying this last year before Lopetegui had to go. Oh, Troj, what's going on, son? Talk to us, mate. Talk to us. Tadibo and Kilman are the worst pairing of centre-backs we've ever had. Do you know what? I would agree with you on that, because there's always been one standout defender at West Ham, and then there's one shit. Do you know what I mean? I remember when like Gabardon come to the club and Collins and all these sort of players, right? And then when I look at the centre halves that have come to this club, and I look at them two, the problem is, right, what I believe is that when they signed them 2 players, they've signed them for a back 3. Now, if we go to a back 3, I find that a back 3 is very, very defensive. You mean you go into a back 3, which reverts to a back 5 with your wing backs, and we can't defend. So, like, automatically, we're going into a defensive shell straight away. Tadibo, Kilman, I think Igor needs to be given an opportunity. Like, what's Igor got to do to get on the pitch? Like, he's another one that I look at him and I think the one person that you need at centre half, right, is someone who can header a ball. And, you know, that for me is him. That's Igor. Potter made it even worse by showing faith in Aguerd. I think Aguerd always wanted to go, mate. Do you know what I think on that? On the Aguerd thing? Aguerd always made it clear that he wanted to leave West Ham. Always did. He made it clear throughout the summer. I think West Ham weren't prepared to go and invest the money that it would have cost to go and invest in a proper centre half. So they tried to keep Aguerd there. And then when Aguerd refused to play in that game against Nottingham Forest, right, that's when basically they had to act, because they can't have a player who's refusing to play for the club because it makes them look bad. So they managed to get him out of the door with Emerson. Like, selling Emerson for 700k, I think it was, is probably the most embarrassing thing they've ever done. Like, getting rid of someone who's experienced, yeah, just doesn't make no sense to me. But letting Aguerd go was the right call, but yet again, not investing the money is, yeah, it's bad. Damien's trying to trigger me in the chat. He ain't going to get a reaction out of me on that one. So there you go, Damien. Emerson and Aguerd are smashing it at Marseille. It's madness. I know Emerson got sent off the other day, but both of them are doing pretty well. They are doing pretty well. Instead, we got messed around last in the window and made panic signings. I could sort of agree with that. Yeah, I could sort of agree with that. I'll never forget that video I did, that watch along, that like transfer watch along. And I sat there at the end of the video and I was like, I am absolutely fuming that they haven't gone and got a striker. And I thought, please don't come back to haunt us. And when I look at it back now, they had Wilson, Krug, and that was it. Oh, Callum Marshall. Yeah. That's where it's gone wrong. It is crazy how we are falling apart when it comes to defending corners and set pieces. For opposition team, it's like a penalty already. Conceding 9. Crazy. I noticed it on Friday, mate. One thing I noticed on Friday, and every time Leeds went down their flank, they was looking for a corner straight away. Because it is basically like the best opportunity to score a goal against us. Yeah. There was even a moment against Leeds, on Friday, where they're in the corner and the geezer's trying to knock it off our player, not for a throw-in, but for a corner. He's literally trying to kick it so it actually goes out for a corner. And that's where we're wrong. That's where we're so bad. Like, listen, Areola doesn't command his box well enough for me, right? But I actually feel sorry for Areola in this situation because there's been games where he's absolutely done his best to try and keep us in the game. Like, he's been making save after save to try and keep us in the game. Against Brentford the other day, I was watching it, and I'm literally sitting there in the pub with my brother-in-law, and I'm seeing Areola just keeping us in the game. And I was like, what is going on here? Mad. Igor was a strange one. It's panic buy, mate, or panic loan. That's what it was. It was simply that. West Ham needed to bring someone in as a centre half because Aguerd had down tools. Once Aguerd down tools at West Ham, right, West Ham had to act. They can't have a player there for 6 months who, who doesn't want to be there. So it was always going to happen. Let's get to this one. 2024 Love West Ham. Great name, mate. If we go down, we're going to be like Luton. I don't think we'll be like Luton. I think we'll stay in the Championship for about 2 or 3 years. I think what it'll be, this is my prediction, and you can come back at me at a later day if I'm wrong. When West Ham go down, I think it'd be a year to rebuild in the Championship because it'd be a mass clear out players. West Ham would have to sign players. You'd have to look at Nuno's situation if we go down, right? Whether or not he wants to still be here. Then we have to go and get a new manager in. I think that's what will happen. A new manager will actually come in. I think the first year will be maybe finish 10th, 8th in the league, right? Something like that. Or we could get playoffs, but I don't think we'll go up. And then I think we'll build off of that. And then second or third year, West Ham will come back. The issue is that it'd be like another 3 years with Sullivan here. And I'll be very shocked, extremely shocked if Sullivan ever looked to sell West Ham United while they're in the Championship. It just doesn't make no sense. You've built up the club, you've put them in the Premier League, you've got a major asset there. To go and sell your shares in the Championship, regardless of the pressure, just doesn't make no sense unless he does it this year. Unless he looks in and goes, right, I'm gonna bail out this year, and a new owner can come in and recover the situation. Maybe, but I don't know. I would argue Nuno's playing Skulls in the wrong position because he's injured. Probably. Michael Lynn, me and West Ham got divorced 15 years ago. So where's the guys at time? Well, I'm sorry for your divorce, mate. I really am. So where you guys at that time? Mate, I walked away 10 years ago, mate. 10 years ago, 10 long fucking years ago, mate, I walked away from West Ham. And do you know what? My grandfather, rest in peace to him, said to me, James, just remember one thing. Sullivan's the wrong one of all this. And that's why I'm just over the top with it, with my hatred for Sullivan. But even my grandfather said to me, he's going to turn it into a franchise. I'll never forget the words he said. I said, that's it now. The old West Ham's dead. It's going to be franchise football. He was right. And there's a lot to do with the NFL and all with West Ham. anyone who follows the NFL and they see the model that the NFL clubs sort of portray over there, and they see it over here, they're trying to ingrain it into football here, with popcorn and, you know, half and half the scarves. You know, it's not good, mate, is it? Love your passion, bro. Do you know what, mate? I don't mean to be as passionate as I am. I'm just a normal geezer. I really am. I'm just one of yous. You know what I mean? I've got a missus, got family. I love West Ham, like you probably do, like everyone else probably does in this chat. The issue is that when I think I've been fighting the fight too long, and I need to take a step back and allow other people just to get on with it. I think the door is well and truly open now on the Sullivan thing. And maybe I need to, for the betterment of myself, take a step back and go, allow good people to do it. Because there is some good people in this West Ham community that I do respect a hell of a lot. And I spoke to a few of them the other week, and I trust them. And mark my words on this, I trust these people, and I do believe in these people that have got the right intentions for West Ham. They're going around it in the right way. When I break down, I'm breaking down for a reason. I'm breaking down because I'm hurt deep down. And someone said to me today, I think it was, that my tears are not real. You don't even fucking know me. Do you know what I mean? I've seen this club go down multiple times and fall apart many times. And honestly, my fear is not relegation, it's the aftermath of it. Because if we can't get back up, then what? Do you know what I mean? Every year that we're not in the Premier League, the club's going to fade away. And listen, there's big clubs out there, huge clubs out there right now, like Sheffield Wednesday, who are a huge club. I don't want West Ham to go down this road. I really don't. But that's my opinion, because I care too much, I might add. Right, let's get to this one. Sell our best player, waste cash on crap, get relegated soon after that. This is giving me Rio vibes. This time we did it with Rice. That's a great comment. Trojan's on it tonight. Shout out to Trojan. That's actually a great comment. A really good comment. It does give me that. And it's exactly the same pattern again. But we sold Rio, I think, in 2001. I think it was 2001, if I remember rightly. 2003, we got relegated. So, yeah, it's a great comment. We've got a Spurs fan in. Let's be nice to him. I know he's Tone's mate, so he's all good. Big up, Tottenham fan here. The neutral fans can see a mile off, that you should mile off it in the summer, that you were banging trouble. You've got the worst owner in the Premier League. Shout out to you, mate. Shout out to Daniel. Hope you're well, mate. James, I'm worried you're right. This relegation could see us never be an established Premier League team again. That's the one thing that concerns me, mate. That really does. And so for some people, they don't care about if we get relegated. Oh, we've got Port Vale away or whatever. I'm sorry, I do, because I look at it a bit different to them. I think West Ham are a massive club, and having that mentality of turning around and saying it doesn't matter. When does it matter? How many more leagues do we have to go down before people go, you know what, it does matter now? That's where I stand on it. So yeah. How will we afford the stadium that we'll sell it out every week? Well, it's rented, isn't it, mate? That's what it is. It's rented. So just pay the rent and that's it at the end of the day. I thought it was 2.5 million a year and 1.25 a year in the Championship. It goes up every year. I think it does. I think it goes up 1 million every year. FIFA has sanctioned 2 Serie A games to be played in the US. I hope the Premier League don't start playing games abroad like the NFL. I think that's coming, mate. Do you know what I mean? Right, Gaz is giving me a history lesson now. Gaz is 53 years old. I've supported the Hammers. Seen lots of ups and downs. We was once a yo-yo club, up and down. But you know what? I love my club no matter what. Oh, listen, Gaz, I've seen West Ham go up and down. Doesn't mean to say I want them to go down this year, though. Far from it. I want to see us stay in this league if I can. James, I've seen this great, wonderful club of ours relegated 4 times, and I hate it. For me, we are a sleeping giant. I completely agree. With the right owners, and have always said we can become a powerhouse. See, I do agree with on that comment. It's all about the owners. It's the right owners. Problem is, we ain't got the right owners, have we? Sad. Sold Rio. Used the money for the Dr. Martens. Just that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I'll never forget. 18 million. I think we sold Rio for, if I remember rightly, to Leeds. And I can't remember how much the stand cost. If anyone could tell me, but you know, yeah, Dr. Martin's lower, mate. What a time. I'm not a Hammers fan, but I'm seriously worried for you lot. Very similar to my club, Everton. It's heartbreaking to see other big clubs being destroyed by the owners. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Thing is, no, right, just for example, with Everton have always been able to get out of the situation, right, before it's too late. And this is the thing. I'm hoping that West Ham can get out of it before it's too late. But fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. Respect to you and your channel. Myself personally would like to see West Ham in League 3. At least I could go come back home to my family. Come on, you irons. Well, if there was a League 3, Michael, I would love to know what it is, son. I think you mean League 2. Yeah, listen, anyone can go and have their opinion on League 1, League 2, Championship. For me personally, I look at West Ham a bit better than that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think it's having standards. I think if you accept anything, then you're always going to be served up anything. If you want change and you want the betterment of West Ham and you want the club to be as successful as possible, you've got to be aiming to stay in the Premier League for as long as possible. And I always said West Ham should never be moving from Upton Park to Stratford and in any threat of relegation. We've been in threat of relegation about 5 times since the move. That's not good enough, really, if I'm being honest. Will we have another Burnley day? I think it's coming, mate. I think it's coming, Craig, if I'm honest. If you want me, I think something will brew up in the end where it will inflame the fan base. I think what the fan base are doing right now in regards to the protests are brilliant. Like the sit-in protest that Chris Mills is trying to do with Cross Hammers. That's another good firm. Cross Hammers, shout out to them and all. Everyone's trying to do something to make a change. But eventually, when the writing's firmly on the wall, are West Ham going to be able to keep a lid on it? I don't think they will do, mate. And my worry is the Burnley game that's coming up. Because Burnley don't look like no mugs this year. They look like a well-organised outfit. Parker's got them hard to beat, right? And I watched the game against Burnley, against Liverpool, and I thought they played excellent defensively. If we play Burnley at the LS and we get done by Burnley, and not only do we get done by Burnley, but if we get hammered by Burnley in the LS, nothing would surprise me, mate. Nothing would surprise me if I see people wanting to get into that director's box. And it'd be literally like 7 years ago. 7 years ago, 2018, you had the Burnley situation again. And the irony is, I think it could happen again. Like, that's just me surmising, right? Who knows? I'm just a fan with an opinion. I'm not influencing anyone's opinion. But if I was to have money on it, if West Ham get turned over against Burnley on the 8th of November, then I do think it could erupt. Right, big time. Right. Where is it? There was a comment here. James, I don't think I could handle relegation. I don't think I can, mate. If I'm being truthfully honest, West Ham goes down, it would. We'll always put it this way: it'd be very hard for me to come on camera, mate. Let's put it like that. Not in a anger way, but in just a depressed way, if I'm honest. Yeah. Let's look at this one. Don't forget, if we get relegated, we won't get the parachute payments, as Sullivan's already took a loan out on it for this year with Barclays. We are banging trouble if we go down. Great comment again. Another great comment. Sullivan is literally turning West Ham into his old Birmingham. And you know what? Shout out to the Birmingham fan that come on. Absolute brilliant. He come on the other a few weeks ago, staked his claim. Yeah, I got Euro and we won a cup, but this has been coming for a while. It's been a slippery slope, and the worst thing is the bastards in the media will attack the fans and not the real issue owner. I completely agree on that. Getting relegated would be very painful. The reality we're in Nuno's hands. That's a fair comment also, but I completely agree on that one. Right, we're trusting Nuno to change the game for us, but does Nuno have the tools to change the game? Right, I think the only way we're going to know whether Nuno's got the tools to change the game, for me, is if he starts picking players in their right positions and don't do square pegs in round holes. That's the only hope we've got, if I'm being honest. If he plays the players in their natural positions on Sunday and West Ham look better, then I might have a bit of hope. At the minute, I just don't see any hope, if I'm honest. I actually think we could bang up Burnley if we play our players in the right fucking positions. Yeah, it would help, mate. What's happening, man? On paper, you shouldn't be playing like that, but with the likes of Bowen, Paqueta, and AWP in your team, I don't know what it is, mate. I think, because I'm going to round this video up in a minute, I personally think we have got too many individuals and not enough team players in the ranks. Simple as that. I think when you look at them individually, Lucas Paqueta, Jared Bowen, Crescencio Somerville, they all look good, solid players individually. Yeah. As a team, they look like they haven't got a clue how to play with each other. Right. When I look at people like Souček, which, listen, Souček's a weird one for me because I don't think he's got the legs, but the only reason why I say about playing him in certain games is because he's a goal threat, because we haven't got many goal threats. Paqueta doesn't score many goals. Somerville doesn't score many goals. Bowen's the only one who does score the goals for us. And then we're relying on Callum Wilson. So I don't know. What we do need, we need someone who's prepared to throw their head on the football. Now, just see a comment now about Souček at centre-back. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But yet again, the old narrative would be is that he's got no pace about him. So if anyone gets in behind us, there's no way Souček's catching him. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem. I think the only way West Ham could really sort this out, and this is going to be mad, what I'm about to say, but bear with me, is playing three at the back, having one centre half and having two wing backs next to him, like a Wan-Bissaka and a Skulls or someone like that, who could have the pace factor. Because I just don't think we've got any pace in our ranks to do anything, if I'm honest. Like, if balls hit us over the top, we've got no pace to get back. We've got no one who can header a ball in the side. Everyone's scared to header the ball. It's ridiculous. Souček's not scored since March. Nor was many other people, mate. But, you know, I'm running out of options, lads. Do you know what I mean? And ladies out there, I'm running out of options. So, you know, it is what it is. Right. That is me done. I'm going to go out, have a game of pool. And, yeah, chill out for the night. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. Hit notification bell and all that game. We'll become a member of the channel. Check out the membership stuff on that. Yeah, listen, keep the faith, as we all do. Well, I'm going to try and do. I'm having a few days of rest and not worrying about YouTube and these people that want to execute me. So apparently people want to really go to town on me for some reason. So yeah, but I'll be fine. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's enough from me. Take care of yourselves out there. Be safe, be well, wrap up warm because winter is coming. And so is the shitstorm that Sullivan's served up and all. Peace.